Mr. Corinthos, isn't it true that you were locked in a closet and beaten by your stepfather when you were a small boy, and that those beatings were so severe that you were left with lasting psychological damage?
Objection, Your Honor!
The subject of mood swings that...
Your Honor, objection!
Complete nervous breakdown.
Okay, stop it, Alexis! You leave him alone!
Order in this courtroom.
Make her stop.
Mrs. Corinthos, control yourself.
You need to control her.
Your Honor, I'm trying to cross-examine.
No, you know what? You're trying to destroy Sonny, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with the custody here, and you got your own agenda here, Alexis.
Your Honor, I would like to apologize for my client. She is obviously too distraught to continue their...
Your Honor, in light of this egregious attack that has her own client on the verge of hysteria, I'm requesting
or
this
you're in
trial.
contempt. Mrs. Corinthos, you seem to have a great deal to say.
Yeah, well, I just want these things to be fair.
That's what they pay me for. Mr. Corinthos, you may step down. Mrs. Corinthos, I'm recalling you to the witness stand.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Before we begin, understand that I will tolerate no more outbursts in this courtroom.
I understand.
Accusing your own counsel of having a private agenda is a very serious charge.
Yeah, well, it's true.
What is the nature of this agenda?
She had an affair with my husband.
When was this?
A few years ago, while we were separated.
Your Honor, divorce papers have been filed.
Did you know about this affair when you retained Miss Davis?
Yes, I did.
Why did you hire her?
Because she can win.
Didn't you realize this prior relationship might prove an issue?
This relationship was not a real relationship. It was a one-night stand. And something that meant nothing to my husband and everything to Alexis, because it was a life-altering situation, and now she has a secret.
Your Honor, with all due respect, my personal life is not at issue in this proceeding.
Do you feel this secret affects the manner in which Miss Davis is representing you?
Oh, yes, I do.
Then share it with this court.
I object, Your Honor.
Overruled, Miss Davis. Mrs. Corinthos, what is the secret?
Alexis is still in love with my husband.
That is untrue, Your Honor.
No, it's very true, and it's exactly why she made up the lie about his nervous breakdowns.
Thank you, Mrs. Corinthos. If you'll remain seated for a moment. Were you involved with Mr. Corinthos?
Involved is a gross overstatement, Your Honor.
Did you sleep with him?
Once, Your Honor. It was a demonstration of bad judgment.
Are you still in love with Sonny Corinthos?
No, Your Honor, I am not. Given the turn of events, I would like to ask your permission to withdraw from this case.
On what ground?
There are mitigating
Of
circumstances,
which you
Your
were
Honor.
well aware when you took the case.
Upon further consideration, I think Mrs. Corinthos would be better represented with alternative counsel.
That would mean starting the hearing process all over again. A considerable waste of the court's and everyone else's time. Mr. and Mrs. Corinthos, would you be willing to petition the court for a new hearing once Miss Davis is replaced?
No.
You know what, Your Honor? I don't think either one of us wants to go through this again.
I don't think we want to put our children through that.
Let the record show that Mr. and Mrs. Corinthos finally agree on something. Let's get moving before they change their minds. Miss Davis, do you have any more questions for your client?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any more witnesses? Any other evidence?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Ward?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Very well. We'll proceed to closing arguments. Then I'll make my decision regarding the custody of Michael and Morgan Corinthos.
Alexis Davis got one thing right. Sonny Corinthos knows what it means to grow up without a real father. What it means to have no heroes. No one to set boundaries. No one to toss a baseball in the park with. He's felt the pain of a walk-away father. That empty place inside that no amount of money, love, or power can fill. That's why my client wants to be a full-time father. Sonny wants the opportunity to teach his boys how to be good men. Honest men, from a good home, the kind of home he could only dream of. In this world of absentee fathers, my client simply wants the opportunity to bring up his boys. That's not asking too much. Please, don't turn Sonny's children into fatherless boys.
Please don't turn Sonny's children into fatherless boys. Is a touching sentiment. I appreciate that, but I prefer the facts. The facts are, Your Honor, that if Mrs. Corinthos were to get sole custody of the children, her children wouldn't be fatherless. They would be safer. They would only be fatherless as if something were to happen to Mr. Corinthos. For instance, if he were to be gunned down leaving this courtroom, which is not out of the realm of possibility, because he was gunned down on the stairs of the police station a few years ago. I was there. I'm the one that walked away covered with his blood. He was shot in the chest. Now, what if he were holding Michael and Morgan at the time? He already lost one child to his life of violence when his first wife, who was pregnant, exploded in a car bomb that was meant for him. This safe life, this safe home that he imagines for his children simply doesn't exist, Your Honor. You have heard testimony of a woman who was shot in the bathroom of his apartment. You've heard testimony of a bomb that went off in his living room. You've heard testimony that his children have bodyguards and that they live in a bulletproof house. This is unacceptable for children's lives to be put into this kind of danger simply because he has chosen a life of crime. As horrible as his childhood was, it is not okay to make his children pay the price for what his father did to him. I am asking you, the court, not to condemn Michael and Morgan, who are innocent in all of this, to a life of bulletproof glass, bodyguards, violence, and death. I am asking you to protect these children and to put them into the sole custody of Mrs. Carly Corinthos. Thank you.
Thank you for all your hard work in this difficult case. I'll consider your arguments and contact counsel when I've made my decision. Court is adjourned.
I did my part, and you undercut me at every turn. Win or lose, you can drop dead. As far as any deal we made about Christina, it's off.
Oh, why? Because you say it is? Because you got upset? Nothing has changed, Alexis. If I lose this case, I will tell Sonny that he is Christina's father.
If you tell Sonny that Christina is his daughter, you will destroy her life.
Well, relax. We haven't lost yet.
You blackmailed me. You undercut me at every turn. You have sabotaged your own case.
Listen, I didn't want to use the breakdowns. They were a last resort, and when I denied it, why didn't you leave it alone?
Because it was the best way to win, which is what you wanted.
Well, in a way, you did me a favor. Because Sonny really hates you now, and he will go after Christina the second he finds out the truth.
Why does ruining my life and ruining Christina's life help you?
Why don't you understand this? If Sonny is furious with you, then I have a better chance.